My goodness, it's this early in the day and this place is already bustling. I think bustling is a good thing. Oh, ladies, you're back. I'm so glad you come back. You're like two beautiful flowers gracing this little tavern of ours. Huh? You remember us too? You have quite the memory. But of course, lovely ladies like you are such a rarity here. How could I ever forget? Hey, y'all better listen up! Just taking our last orders for now! Oh. We ain't taking any more new orders, got it? Oh dear, sorry you two. You know, you come all this way, it looks like they're going to start prep for dinner service. No, actually we didn't come here for a meal. Oh? There's something we'd like to ask. Would you happen to know a person named Elvis? Elvis? Ah, you mean Elvis Falster. Of course I do, he's one of our regulars here. Could you describe what he looks like? Oh, he's a quite middle-aged looking man. Quite quiet maybe? I don't know. But he's got a real sharp mind. He's got a pretty high position over Zevitz, if I remember. He really doesn't come as often as he used to, but when he does, he sits at a table over there in the back to have his dinner. The waiter points out a specific table as he tells us. Alright, you have my gratitude for the information. Ah, that guy. So that's how it is. So that personality of his was just an act? Real smooth operator gained two pretty girls? Damn! Huh? What's this man even thinking? Just to make it clear, it's nothing like what you imagine. I swear, we're only looking for someone. The side comments are totally unwarranted. Itona, your face is scaring me. Well then, what should we do now? Our schedules are completely open until tonight. Itona, look over there! Huh? Rune? Good afternoon, Miss Sophie and Miss Ritona. My hair stands on end. Your face, it looks so lifeless. It's not that she has lack of expression, it's as if there was no life in her in the first place. I can't explain it well, as if she was just a moving doll. Really? It just feels eerie. Is she really alive? I have been looking for you two. I sincerely apologize for being unable to meet with you both at the appointed time. Rune's head seemed to just be hanging there. Not even a single hint of emotion showing. Rune, what happened? This is the settlement that Master Rudo was trying to hand to you earlier today. Originally, I was supposed to have presented it to you myself. I would be more than delighted if you accepted it. Who cares about the stone? Just what happened to you? Just who is that Rudo anyway? Master Rudo is my owner. As she speaks, Rune smiles very slightly. This is creepy. Despite it being a smile, the way she does it without a trace of emotion. It's nothing but eerie. Owner, why are you treating yourself as an object? People aren't meant to be treated that way. I'm not a person. I'm a thing. Rune replies instantly without a trace of hesitation in her voice. What in the world are you saying? Is that Rudo blackmailing you to do this? Master Rudo has done nothing wrong, nor is he blackmailing me with anything. I am willingly in the employ of Master Rudo, as I am willingly here, meeting with you both. What was that? It's as if a slight hint of emotion had returned to her. No matter how you look at it, you couldn't possibly be doing this of your own free will. Milady, come on, tell us please. We might be able to help you out here. We're friends, aren't we? I do not have the authorization to become friends with anyone. And my name is Sarah. I sincerely apologize for giving you both the incorrect name during our first encounter. Although inconvenient, I request that you refer to me by that name from here on. Well, I doubt we will meet again after this. Sarah then bows once again after telling us that and forms another artificial smile. No, that's just... artificial. Yes, that's the right word. It always bothered me since we first met. Ever so often she would perform these strange, unnatural actions. Like every single movement of hers was calculated. All of her actions are artificial, manufactured, like she was thinking of the proper response, the proper expression for each and every interaction. I must attend to other business now, so unless there's anything else, I bid you both a good day. What? Wait a second! Rune, no, Sarah was it. Let me just say this much. No matter what you yourself think, Selphine and I consider you a friend. Sarah started walking away from us until my statement stopped her. If you need us to help you, then we will do everything in our power. So let me ask you again. Are you being held against your will and being forced to work? Or is this all because you hold that man, Rudo, in such high regard? Perhaps she has her reasons, ones she can't disclose to others, or possibly ones that people wouldn't understand. She's here for her own free will, supposedly. But as Selphine said, that couldn't possibly be true. However, people have the right to reject associating with others as well. If she insists that much, then we ourselves are limited on what we can do. If you no longer want us to get involved, then... Miss Ratona... She cut me off. I believe you are misunderstanding something. When a hammer is used, does it question its role as a tool? Does it curse its own destiny? I am not being made to work against my will. Once more, I will explain thoroughly so as to clear up any further misunderstandings. People are the ones who have rights, the ones who are given rights, and the ones who benefit from rights. For someone like me who has no authority, I do not have the right to reject people, as you so say. Likewise, I do not have the right to hold Mr. Rudo in high regard. That is because I'm an object, a thing. Sarah continued to speak as if she were mindlessly dictating. How could anyone possibly say something that sad, that tragic, without a trace of emotion? This girl is no longer the Rune that we met yesterday. Now, have a pleasant day. Oh. I was expecting something more dramatic there. Just what could have happened? How could someone change so drastically? Ooh, Selphine's pissed. Milady, I think I'm a little angry right now. Now that's kind of this far. This makes me want to keep meddling this, even if she starts to hate us. Yeah. Still, she's just told us her stand on the matter. If you continue to get involved with her, all you may end up doing is getting her to despise you. It's not just that. Well, you did mention it before as well. Is she Rune or is she Sarah? Was her kind, cheerful behavior from yesterday all just an act? What I'm sure of is that I want to know the truth. But at the same time, I want to know more about this country and the Outer Pole just as much. I want to know if they really do practice slavery here, or if there's any other discrimination taking place. And I want to understand why I suddenly want to know about all these things. Selphine, do you think we could accept any kind of discrimination? Bigotry, poverty, war. These are the things that have been eradicated from Rugensetheit for the most part. When it comes to slavery, even if we understand the reasons for it, our mentality refuses to accept it, no matter what. It doesn't matter, Ratona. Even if we can't change anything, we have to first understand the situation, or else nothing will ever happen. Selphine's eyes were filled with a level of dignity I'd yet to see in her as she gazed towards the direction that Rune had departed. Nights. After Selphine had fallen asleep, I snuck away from the inn and headed for a certain place. I got hold of some interesting information. From what I heard, there's a cemetery near the mana mine on the outskirts of town. This music's really creepy. It's not too far from where Selphine and I were carried to by the stray effects. About 10 or so minutes after making my way out to the forest, I came across something that looks to be a cemetery. The place seemed to be fairly well maintained. None of it seemed to be in particular disrepair. A cemetery in the middle of a forested area in the dead of night. Awfully creepy indeed. The thick fog added to the unwanted, sinister atmosphere of the situation. Well now, I push the gate open and take out the note that the innkeeper passed to me. Runzevitz. And the note was Rune's name, written in their language. I just have to search the place from top to bottom to find the engraving that matches. At the very least, I can be sure as to whether or not Rune, the little sister, has actually moved on to the next world. 20 minutes have passed. The cemetery sure is large. There's no... It would be... Just give like a cemetery backdrop. Thanks to the fog, I can't tell how far I am from the entrance, but this is quite a large cemetery. Damn. What terrible timing. Just at a glance, it sees I haven't even explored a third of the cemetery. Really, the cemetery is ludicrously large. Do all of Kadea's city's deceased end up buried here? In any case, I can't have the weather turn even worse on me. Need to hurry up checking the area out. Ugh. And then 5 minutes have passed and already the drizzle has turned into a downpour. The rain's penetrating my cloak and coat, getting straight to my skin. Not a good idea to keep on looking around now. So I was looking for a place to shelter myself from the rain. That's creepy. Sup? I'm paralyzed. Are you searching for Mistress Rune's gravestone? I couldn't even speak. My hairs were all standing on end. I was keeping my guard up this whole time. I was prepared to cast Minecraft in case worst came to worst. And despite that, No, more importantly, she had no presence, just like when we first met. And on top of that, her eyes. This girl. Just what are you? Sarah's face remained expressionless as the rain battered against it relentlessly. It took everything in me just to keep my eyes open, but Sarah's eyes didn't even blink. You will not find Mistress Rune's headstone here. What? Are you Rune herself? Who can say? Who can say? You're not making any sense. This property is under Zavit's group of companies. Trespassing is not allowed. Miss Rutona, I hope you understand the situation you are in. She speaks softly, but firmly. Ooh, now it's frowning. Please, do not trouble Master Rudo or Zavit's enterprise. I think the smile's creepier. Leave the city as soon as you can. Well then, if you will excuse me. And those parting words, Rune disappeared into the forest. It might have been just me, but it felt like I saw loneliness creep into her expression for just a moment. Seriously, stop that music, that's giving me chills. Speaking of chills, you're probably sick if this is anything like any other Japanese game. Just who was it that I encountered last night? And Rune doesn't have a gravestone. Why? Does that mean Sarah is Rune? No, the townsfolk all said that Rune had died. Damn it, the more I think about it, the less it makes sense. It's almost as if they used Rune as the template to make golems. But that's just ludicrous. So all that happened, huh? I see. Wish I could have been there too. Sophie made her displeasure quite clear for me to hear as she spoke out loud. I want to have a good talk with Sarah too. My apologies, but it was already so late, and if you don't get enough sleep, then mana shock point. I really wanted to have a good talk with Sarah too. Forgive me, I won't act on my own from now on. Please accept my apology. What should I do? Sophie continues to glare right at me. I didn't expect her to be this upset. Alright then, I'll have you make up for this sometime, okay? Understood. You know, Rotona. And I'm not really all that useful. No, that's... No, it's fine. I'm not trying to put myself down or anything. It's just a fact. Yeah. Not as smart as you, and I can't use Battlecraft. You know, I'm just a worthless person, aren't I? It's like, okay, passive-aggressive. And if something were to happen, I might end up just being a burden on you. But you know, it's times like these that I really have to be with you. What do you mean by that? Tony, you're always putting yourself in danger just to protect me. Just telling you to stop isn't going to help us either. If this were Rugenseid, we can simply appoint someone else to take your place. But right now, it's just us two. In a place so far away, it's like a different planet. We're travelers just trying to get back home. Your duty right now is to make sure I get back to Rugenseid safe and sound, right? It is. But if something happened to you, there's no way I could possibly make my way back all by myself. So let's split the risk between us, okay? So even if something happens, there's no hard feelings between either of us. If not, then I want us to be on equal footing. This isn't an order, but a request as your friends. I'm such a fool. Right now, in this situation, two of us need to act as one. It's so patently simple. I'm so sorry. I promise you, we are equals from here on. Right. You know, I said I held her opinion in high regard. I ended up treating her like a child. It feels as if the haze that was clouded my mind was lifted. Now, I'd like to propose something. By all means. See, I also want to try using Minecraft. What? Rudo awakened in the boardroom, having spent the entire time looking at documents prior. He had a terrible dream. Why did I have that dream after all this time? The thought occurred to Rudo, but the answer came just as quickly. Sarah. Truly abhorrent. Those memories from childhood that he didn't want to remember. This is absolutely the worst. He recalls the deep resentment he had harbored toward his father, and the feelings of pity and compassion he had for his mother. With no one to receive those feelings, they continue to plague him endlessly. All this stems from 12 years ago. Flashback. Rune was truly a violent girl since her youth. Not once would she take to heart anything said to her. She would have a way of just getting on anyone's nerves. No matter how hard people tried to understand her, they couldn't find any reason. And Rune continued to be a source of grief. She would generate hostility and strife with others, and in the meantime, slip away into gaps as she laughed her head off. Maybe that's why she was someone who loved being violent. She was so intent on rebelling against something. It was like she was missing something important inside of her. She was that kind of girl. Oof. That's a weird red tinge. That day, her left eye was swollen red, perhaps having been stung by an insect. Concerned for Rune, our mother forced her frail, weak body as she tried to bring Rune to a hospital on the outskirts of town. Mom's waiting for you, Rune. No. Look, I'll give you my dessert tonight, okay? Just listen to what she says for today. I don't want it. Go away. Doesn't your eye hurt, Rune? If you don't get a doctor to take a look at it, you might never get to see with that eye anymore. You don't want that to happen, do you? I don't care. So I can go die. Oh, come on, don't say something so silly. Rudo, Rune, are you ready to go? Come on, Mom, you push yourself today to get out of bed for this. Whatever, Mom can go die. The hospital can go die. And Dad can go die too. Rudo, you go die. Everyone should just die. Don't say something so sad. Well, the truth is I didn't particularly find what she said sad. Go die. Couldn't keep track how many times she said that to me. Rune seems to figure that with her limited vocabulary, saying that would inflict the greatest emotional harm. Rune, I don't really mind you telling me that, but please don't tell Mom that. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Yeah, another meaningless endeavor. She's a little devil who do the complete opposite of what you wanted her to do. On the other hand, if you tell her the exact opposite of what you want done, then she'd do it without question. Maybe she just took pleasure in causing people distress. A conversation with Rune really amounted to nothing more than a one-way assault on you. Oh, Rune, you haven't changed yet? Sorry, Mom, she just won't listen to me. It's alright, sorry for making a deal with her. Come on, Rune, let's go to the doctor and have a look at your eye now. No. I won't take a no for an answer. We need to have that looked at right away. Found you a really good doctor. I'm sure we'll make it all better, just like that. No. Rune knew that there was no winning an argument with her mother, so... I don't want to go! She would just whine. That is the greatest form of resistance a child possesses. Once she started screaming, she would continue until her vocal cords were worn out. Ugh. Rune, please stop crying, okay? Once we're finished at the doctor's, I'll get you some ice cream from the Central Plaza. I don't wanna go! She just wouldn't do as she was told, so we had forced her to come along with us. 30 minutes after, Rune finally stopped screaming. Jeez Louise. While she was getting checked up at the medical facility, Rune would constantly try to bite or lunge at the doctor in charge of her. The doctor silently continued the checkup, but was written all over his face that he was already at his wit's end. If this hadn't been a hospital under our family, he probably would have told us to never come back again. On the way back, we stopped by the Central Square for a breather. Goodness, whatever am I going to do with Rune? I'll try hard to deal with her. I'm sure if I'm just a little bit more patient, I can talk with her and she'll understand. I can stand to learn a thing or two from your patience with her. I swear, if you weren't here for me, I wouldn't know what to do. I'm sure Rune doesn't mean bad. I'd believe that, otherwise I couldn't possibly continue. Maybe when she grows a little older, then I'm sure... Continue considering her as my little sister. I'm sure this is just a phase. It's not just a phase, Mom. God. Just a while, won't last. Once Rune grows just a little older, even she will. I'll be fine. So don't worry about a thing. Mom. Rune came back with a broken stick. Who knows where she found that? Hey, don't play with that. It's dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous. She continued to run around screaming as she kicked up dirt with the stick, then dashed off to who knows where. Goodness gracious. We need to get her back here. Who knows what sort of trouble she may cause. Yeah, I'll go get her. Just wait here and rest. No, I'll go with. If she causes problems outside, I need to scold her properly. If only that could have prevented what came next. Yeah! Just moments later. It took us a moment to even realize that the blood-curdling sound we heard was a scream. Dark everywhere! What was that? I ran to the source and see a boy convulsing on the ground while being straddled by someone. It's going to be creepy. I tried to warn it first. Oh boy. Oh, that's... Oh, the sound. Oh, okay. That someone was ruined. She continued to stab the broken stick from earlier into the boy's face countless times while laughing hysterically as if she had completely lost it. Yeah, she's like the yandere without the dairy. What? The whole area was just stained red. With how unreal, how unbelievable the scene was, my mind completely zoned out. I thought to myself, is this what it would look like if I splashed a whole bucket of red paint here? Hey, answer me! Ugh. The boy wasn't even trying to dodge a stick that kept coming down and bear upon him. He was clearly unconscious. Rune! Die, just die already, you stupid! Yeah! Rune's voice, already hoarse and raspy, kept screaming at the child to die. It would no longer sound like a child. Die! 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 Nor did it even sound remotely human. Ugh. The next moment, my body just launched forward unconsciously. When I came to, my clothes were drenched and dyed with various shades of crimson blood. I'm fairly sure I managed to pull Rune away from the boy, but I don't have any clear memory of doing so. The boy was immediately brought to Zavitsmedica General Hospital. Patient name, Marcos Gruxwiles, age 8. The doctors performed the appropriate surgical measures, thankfully managing to save the boy's life. However, they weren't able to save his left eye because of the extreme lacerations inflicted. The stick had pierced through his eyeball and created a large fissure in the sphenoid bone of his skull, causing a huge mana imbalance in his body. Marcos would have suffered chronic migraines for the remainder of his life. The reason for why Rune attacked him was discovered later. According to her, he made fun of me because of my eye patch. This incident occurred when Rune was 6 years old. The doctors remarked that the entire incident was quite bizarre. How resilient that child's eyeball was, its position, size, the durability and sharpness of the stick Rune used. All of the factors had to have been just perfect for this whole incident to have happened. Apparently, it was practically impossible for a girl 6 years of age to have inflicted such serious wounds on a boy 2 years older than her. There must have been some element of surprise for her to have been able to stab at such a small vital point. One of the doctors said the incident was truly bad luck, or so he said. But he's wrong. There's no way that was just sheer bad luck. It wasn't just some incident where Rune simply lashed out due to emotion. Somewhere deep inside her, she must have had a very clear intention to harm and destroy from the very beginning. This little incident was just an excuse to exercise that malicious intent. After the incident, Rune received the absolute worst scolding of her life. She apologized to every single person involved, bawling the whole while. The peacekeepers gave a direct order to place her under indefinite house arrest. For some time, Rune simply stopped talking altogether. Of course, the responsibility of dealing with the aftermath fell solely on my mother's and father's shoulders. The Zevits did everything in their power to make things right for the Grokwal's family. We had Zevits Medica provide the latest of medical technologies. The extravagant costs of treatment were all paid for by the Zevits. Marcos Grokwal's education was fully paid for. Even his parents, who were experiencing trouble with work, were promised a livelihood as well. It all added up to be a very generous offer to the Grokwal's family. At first, Grokwal's had turned them down. However, as time went by, the family began to quarrel among themselves, arguing that it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. In the end, Marco's parents divorced. He and his mother left the city soon after. A day, a week, a month, a year. Time had passed. The Zevits conglomerate continued to grow in power. Though deep, the scar left in the Zevits family slowly began to heal. With the passage of time, Rune slowly began to learn how to interact with other people. She began to speak more politely, as if the violent menace that was her had completely been overwritten, instead turning into a proper lady. She was much more considerate of other people, disturbingly so. In reaction to her indescribable behavior, I harbored doubts. Did Rune truly learn anything from the incident? While I was initially doubtful, the skepticism eventually faded away. More time passed since the Grokwal's incident, another 5 years.